Hi, I'm Peter Birch, and in this week's show we're going to look at some carpet pythons that inhabit Central Australia. Welcome to CrittaCam. Who would think this beautiful creature wasn't described until 1984? It's an absolutely majestic looking creature. This is a Morelia spilota mccarthy. Bit of a mouthful, very scientific name. Its common name is the inland carpet python for very good reasons. It inhabits the Murray-Darling Basin area. Basically where the river goes, these animals are associated with them. In other words, you find them in Queensland, South Australia, New South Wales, and Victoria. That is a huge distribution. The other cool fact about these beautiful creatures is that their colours will also slightly change. So when we're looking at the southern population in Victoria, they're more associated with the silvers and the blacks, which I think are absolutely outstanding looking creatures. When we go into New South Wales, some of those blacks turn into dark browns. When they go into South Australia, you also start to get tinges of bright reds, spectacular tinges of bright reds. And in some populations in Queensland, you can also find some of those red hues coming through. But these guys are an absolutely beautiful, docile creature, so easy to handle. They're recorded to grow up to 2.7 metres, which is about 9 feet, which is a big creature. But on average, they get to about 2.4, which is around about the 8-foot mark. That is still a spectacular sized animal. This girl here laid a nice clutch of 16 eggs this year, so they can pump out quite a few eggs. And like I said, they have got such a great, pleasant nature. And living in that inland area, I mean, you can just imagine what these guys would like to eat. They actually get up into the rock escarpments closely associated with the Murray-Darling area, and they're feeding on bats, birds, small mammals, and even as babies, eating lizards as well. It's not very cool for a reptile to eat other reptiles, but unfortunately in nature, this is what they do to survive. And I mean, they are just, look at this girl. She's just got such a great nature. I mean, I can do just about anything with this particular girl. I know, she's such a good animal, aren't you, baby? Oh yeah. But just like all pythons, they've got recurved teeth, about 96, 2 rows on top and a single row on the bottom. And when they grab hold of you, whoo, it's not very pleasant. Using their heat sensory organs around the front of their face to be able to find their food in the night. Basically blind like most pythons, relying heavily on that heat sensory organs. I mean, you can imagine these beautiful silvery creatures at night looking for them. She's giving a good hiss there. You can imagine them hunting at night, using the moon to reflect off their body. I mean, that would be just an absolutely spectacular animal to find at night. Seeing those silvers and blacks pop. Oh, I mean, it's like a natural exanthic animal. Just such a beautiful, placid creature. The most well-known of all the Central Australian pythons is this beautiful creature right here, which wasn't described until 1981 by Graham Gow in honour of the great Joe Brattle, a great crocodile conservationist. This beautiful creature here is the Morelia bradley, better known as the Central Carpet Python, the Brattle's Python, and I mean, you can see why. It's an absolutely stunning creature with these bright, rich reds. This animal inhabits an area around Uluru and Alice Springs, a very small isolated area in the southern part of the Northern Territory in the mountain ranges there. It's associated with rock outcrops and also hollow trees where these beautiful creatures would be sticking their heads out at night or waiting for birds to return back to the nest so they're a nice, easy prey. They typically eat, just like all pythons, mammals and birds. One of the coolest things about these particular species of carpet python is they actually produce the most amount of snake eggs out of any Australian python. With the highest amount of eggs ever recorded was around about 60 eggs. That is huge for this particular type of python. I mean, it's known for its rich tones of reds, browns, bit of black and these yellows. I mean, they're an absolutely spectacular animal to look at. But believe it or not, some of these animals with some selective breeding, the colours become more intense. The dark colours typically drain away, leaving the bright reds and yellows. And they're calling these hypomelanistic animals, meaning a reduction in black pigmentation. And some of these animals look absolutely stunning. I mean, how could you not fall in with these beautiful creatures? And we do have a couple of these little hypos just to show you the comparison. So the reduction in black melanin leaves you with something like this, an outstanding, let this girl go for a bit of a crawl, an outstanding individual. I mean, there's basically no black amongst this beautiful creature here. It's just all reds and yellows. It's a beautiful little guy. And as they continue to grow, they maintain these beautiful colors. I mean, just look at this guy. He's got a great little future ahead of him. Stunning, can't wait to produce some more. This particular carpet python doesn't have the large head shields associated with most of the Australian carpet pythons. It's actually got a ton of small, little scales all across the head there. And just like all Australian pythons, have the heat sensory pits, those nice big recurved teeth, which they do like to bite and sink their teeth deep down into their prey to hang on. And I mean, that alone tells you that they're one of the most amazing ambush predators that are in the Australian bush, are these beautiful carpet pythons. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's show where we looked at 2 species of Australian carpet pythons that inhabit Central Australia. For me, my favourite was the inland carpet python, being the Murray Darlings, the blacks and the silvers. For me, were absolutely spectacular. Let me know which one was yours in the comment below. Please hit us up on Facebook and Twitter, and don't forget Instagram. Until next week, thanks for watching CrittaCam.